Boom, boom, boom. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. Today is vlog number, what is it? 474. And I will discuss my new storytelling technique. So this is like a class, right? I'll discuss my new storytelling technique using the example of my Instagram vlog. We're going to go over it. And the reason why I'm doing the vlog on this today is because I garnished a lot of comments from this. Everyone was very, very entertained by this vlog. So I purposely made it as like on the fly. So for some of you who don't know or are new here, I was originally a vlogger on this channel, the YouTube channel. And because of that, I had a stronger computer processor at the time. I gave that computer to my mom and I got a brand new computer, but this computer that I'm using doesn't have the same processing power, so to make daily videos wasn't the same, and I didn't have the same amount of time. So all excuses aside, now I have a more friendlier format, and I've been jumping around different formats. But what doesn't matter the tools you have, it matters on the storytelling, and let's get into that. So this one here, I did the story on the fly. I knew what I had to record, so we're going to go over exactly what I did, the thought process, why I did it. And today we're going to go over my new storytelling technique. Okay, that's today's vlog. Okay, so let's get rid of that. All right, so here is the introduction. I go to the thrift store. Let me just step back a little bit. So I walk to the thrift store. I introduce the thrift store. Now, when we look at the basic storytelling, every time you have the stories, the 3-act narrative, right? You have Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Act 1, you're going to have your intro, which I teach my students PPP. The 3 Ps are person, place, and promise. So here, I introduce the thrift store. That's the place. So immediately, that's done, right? That's finished there. And then the person, clearly it's me, right? That wasn't hard. Like it's me here, and then I go here, and then the promise, right? So let's dive into why I'm here, and I introduced that earlier here.
I was gonna make a vlog on snowboarding and looking at the snowboards, like the used ones at the shop, but I think I'll do the vlog on this store because it's interesting to me. I don't really see that many like Vietnamese like food, like grocery stores, so that's cool. I'm gonna make today's vlog on this. Stay tuned, and after that, I'm gonna go check out the used snowboards, I guess.
So there immediately I have the promise, right? So I go to the Vietnamese shop. After the shop, I go to the thrift store for thrifting. Now here, this turns into one of these daily vlogs that's probably like the day, like 2 days ago, right? That's on this channel now. But I only took one picture because I'm technically filming the vlog already, right? And then we jump into the next part. Like I'm walking, like clearly I'm walking to the next place. So I'm the same person, right? The person stays the same, right? I introduce the place, right? And now I have a promise. What's my promise? Snowboarding. Use snowboarding stuff, right? So now that we have the intro, we have the PPP, that's really important. That's there, right? So here is the basic storytelling pyramid that I've been using for the longest of time. That is an ugly, where is the brush? Can I use that? Yeah. I've been using this entire time. Here, you're going to have your Act 1 right there, your Act 1, and that was the PPP, person, place, and promise, right? That's where these 3 go. PPP, so you know that it's me going to the thrift store, buying or looking at used snowboards. You know that's happening. Let's go do it. Inside.
Broken canvas.
So here I'm introducing the place, right? So you're getting a taste of my personality and the place, right?
Reasonable canvas.
Right? So you need to hear my voice. You need to know what I'm into, right? So you're like, oh, Spencer likes cameras. That's cool. We're at the thrift store. You have broken cameras. That makes a lot of sense, right? Like, duh.
Ooh. Ooh, a 2470. Oh no, you do not have a 1DX in here. Oh, I wanted you for like.
So you notice, you see that? So then here, remember, you know what the promise is. This is not a snowboard. This is not a used snowboard. But you know I came to this store for a snowboard, and you know what a thrift store is. You know that they sell stuff. So we come to the store. I'm just showing you a little bit of personality. This is more of person. PPP, right? Person, place, personality. Here it is, right? Person, place, personality. There it is. Now we're going to move to the promise, right? After this, we should be moving to snowboards.
For like, how many, 6 years, 5 years? I don't know. I want you, the ultimate video camera. I have to walk away from cameras. Walk away from cameras. I came here for snowboards, okay? Now where the...
See that? You see that? I knew that section of me looking at cameras wasn't part of the promise. I knew that. Like, I was like, okay, that's not part of the promise. We have to move on now. We have to move on now. We have to move on now. Like, I was like, okay, this is personality. This is the promise. Like, you can't, you know, you can't have the ADD all up in the area. So now we're going to the snowboards.
The heck can I find a snowboard here? Right in here. Oh, here it is.
So this is where it gets fun. Now you see this incline here on the mountain? You see how I have it climbing up like this? Now that's on purpose. I did that here. So down here was me walking to the place. Here is me looking at the cameras, giving you that setup. Like, this place sells used stuff. The thrift store has a lot of this stuff, and there's something here I do want. That's interesting, but it's not as interesting that what's at the top of the mountain, which are the snowboards, right? And then over here is me walking away from the computers, the cameras, going to the snowboards. This is the climb up, right? The anticipation of you and me meeting the snowboards. Now here at the top, we're gonna call this the conflict. Is a very famous word, to conflict, but I've been using the word conflict for so long, and usually I had no conflict, and that's where I had, you know, these excuses where I was like, oh, I don't have a conflict, so I can't make this video. Oh, I don't have a conflict, there's no story, right? Because I would always sit there. That was the conflict. The conflict was I didn't have a conflict, right? And I had a lot of students tell me, oh, I don't know what my conflict is, therefore I can't make this. I changed it. Right? Now, conflict is I still use conflict. If there is one, it goes there. But I changed the word confrontation. That's the word. When the good guy and the bad guy meet. Okay? When the good guy and bad guy meet, it's a confrontation. Okay? So, my purpose to come here was what? Snowboards. To look at the used snowboards. You know I went to the thrift store. You know I went to hold on. We can switch brushes here. You know I went to the thrift store. You know who I am. You know what the promise is. Looking at the cameras. Looking at, knowing that I'm not supposed to be here. Oh yeah. Going to the thrift store. Looking at the cameras. Now I'm at the snowboards. Now we're going to see the snowboards. We confront them. Here we go.
Jackpot. There you go. Tons of them. Look at this snowboard here. $25. $25. 2,400 yen.
2,400 yen, 3,980 yen.
No, you got snowboards here.
Okay, internet service, right? Internet service. That's what happens here. There you go.
For like 20, 30, 40.
What is going on? So this is a great opportunity to just to kind of talk to you. Like here, if you noticed, I was walking around. So I try my best to change the camera angle from 3 perspectives. I have the one where I'm walking, right? You saw my feet, then you're looking at the camera, right? That's one camera angle. It's called POV, the point of view. And then I had what we call a medium shot where I was holding the camera and you saw my head and then you saw my body and we're moving, right? Then this is a still. This is a locked off shot where it's filming me. I'm not moving the camera and I'm showing you things with my hands, right? So it feels like it's a conversation, right? It's like I changed the 3 views in a row. Like, you know, from the outside what the thrift store looks like. You know what the thrift store looks like when I walked in. You know what the thrift store has on the inside for at least cameras and now snowboards. You're seeing all these little pieces, and this is the lead up into me confronting the used snowboards.
$50, nothing more than 5,000, 6,000 yen. Like, this one here costs 1,000 yen. This is a Big Mac meal costs more than this snowboard. Am I missing something? Seriously. What am I missing? I'm gonna have to do some serious research before I want to get one of these. Because am I tripping? Is there something that I don't know? Let's do a little bit more shopping, and then let's go home. I'm not gonna buy anything. Just gonna look.
So there should be the end, right? I should be coming down here on after the confrontation. I meet the snowboards. I'm supposed to be coming down. Now, this is where it gets real silly. I introduce another promise, right? And if you introduce another promise, right, then you have to have, right, another confrontation or another conflict. And then when, like, I hear this blue line coming down, this is supposed to be the conclusion or solution, right? So I did come up with a solution. My solution was what? I'll come back. I'll do research, right? Research was my, ultimate resolution. Now, resolution equals solution. Okay, that's what that means, right? So if you're having a tough time finishing your YouTube videos, I recommend looking at the solution first. And this is how I'm doing all these YouTube videos now, is starting 2025 this year, I am solution first in all my YouTube videos. I know exactly what the end is for every video I make before I make it, right? And sometimes it's not an accident, it's on purpose. So I know when I was making this video, I know what I'm going to say at the end, right? I already wrote it down, right? I knew what the video was going to be, and I knew what the end was. So going back, it would be so much easier, right? So this is what I recommend when you're making any of your storytelling videos. Try your best to really work backwards. If it really it helps me. I don't think it will help others. It might be natural for some other people to just create your conflict and your confrontation and anything that gets fun for you. But for me, this made the most sense. Resolution equals solution. And this come down here is where I had the biggest problem. How do I come down from the top of the mountain and make it seem natural? I don't know what that is. So let's see how this plays out here. How I start to go down. Let's finish this.
Okay, so I found a silly gaming chair for 8,500, and I told myself that I wasn't gonna buy anything, but the last gaming chair I had broke, and the last one I did buy was a Ichiman. I think I have to buy this, but how do I take it home? Do I roll it home? Do I walk it home? I don't know. I'm so ridiculous.
So there's me. What I've learned in Act 1, going into Act 2. In order for Act 1, right, to go into Act 2, the person, the main character, must make a choice. Okay, I read this in a lot of storytelling books. The main character must make a choice. They must actively see what's presented in front of them, and they must choose. Right? Aladdin chooses to become a prince. He chooses his first wish to escape, right, the cavern and to be a prince so he can visit Princess Jasmine. right? Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, right, chooses to leave his farm life behind after his uncle and aunt were murdered. But he could have stayed there, right? But no, he chose to leave. He chose to leave with Obi-Wan Kenobi to go find and the Death Star and Darth Vader. He chose that, right? The main character must choose. Rapunzel had to choose to leave the tower. If the main character accidentally leaves their starting spot, the part 1 here, that's not storytelling. That's not an accident. The main character must choose. So I recommend when you're telling a story that the main character, they're in their normal world, like, oh, I'm Rapunzel, I live in a tower, but what's out there? What's outside of the tower? Right? And the choice to leave the tower brings you into Act 2. So Act 1, here's your normal world. Act 2 is the world that you don't know because you chose to go there. Now me, I'm in the thrift store. I'm sitting there, now I'm creating a brand new story. How do I do this? Now there's no confrontation here. Now this is a conflict. Which one do I do? How do I do this? That's a conflict. But the conflict doesn't really end me here, right? So I have to think about how I need to get home. So let's see what I decide to do.
I came in to buy a snowboard, and then I'm leaving with the chair. At least I know I'll use the chair, right? I'll use the chair every day. Whoop. Whoa. I'll use the chair every day versus a snowboard. I'm only going to use it during the winter time. But then again, how am I going to bring this thing home? I think I'm just going to walk it home or roll it home. Yeah, let's get rolling.
Okay, this was actually super clever in many, many ways. One, I had the camera placed in the chair. See, now the chair's rolling, right? It gives you a buildup of anticipation. This is happening here. A buildup of anticipation, and I'm talking to you. I'm still the main character. Though we have a new mountain that we're following here. I'm like, okay, what am I doing? What am I learning? Where am I going? I bought the chair. And then I purposely let it fall. It was a natural thing. It did fall down. But it looked cool because then it stayed on the chair. And then I was able to pick it up. And then I purposely put the camera in front of the chair so you see the chair, right? It's on purpose. You'll see it right now.
I came in to buy a snowboard, right? And then
here it's like I'm rolling the chair, and if you just put something on something, it's like jiggling, right? You can see it's like rattling around. And then I bring it outside and the phone falls down. Then the phone falls down, perfect on the delivery. I pick it up and then I put it purposely behind the chair so that I have it in my possession and I'm rolling it out the store. Now, person, place, right? Person, place, promise. Now, what's the person? I'm the person. I didn't change. What's the promise? I have to bring this chair home. Now, what's the place? I need to introduce the next place, and I do that in this next clip.
I'm only going to use it during the winter.
So as you can see here, this is the front of the thrift store. Remember, I had the outside shot earlier. Let me go back. Right? This is the outside shot of the thrift store. You know what it looks like, right? You know where I'm at. And then the next shot was me walking in. So you know what that looks like, right? And there's a couple pieces here. And then now we're here. I introduced this part where you can see me clearly struggle taking this out the thrift store. And I do this shot on purpose, making sure that you see it's very clear as day that I'm rolling this guy right out the store. And then now, remember, I shift camera angles. You have the first camera angle was looking at the outside perspective. You're standing, looking at me as if you're a pedestrian on the street, as if you're driving in a car, looking at the bus. You're like, what the heck is this guy doing, right? So your brain can see that, put it in your head, and you understand it very clear as day. Next, I switch to a first-person point of view where you're seeing my hand and I'm putting the camera right here. So you're like, okay, like now instead of seeing me, now you become me, right? I shift the camera angle immediately, giving you a new point of view, same person, new point of view, and then I introduce the place. Because remember, it's a transition. I go from here to here, And then now I'm trying to climb up to the confrontation. Here we go. Then I show this name, Yokosuka, on purpose. This is where I live. I live in the city of Yokosuka here in Japan. I purposely pan there. You see the wheels rolling on the surface streets. Then I show you off in the distance, right? So you were on the sidewalk watching me. Now you are me looking at the challenge ahead of me, right? You know the place, you know the person, and you understand the promise. Like, but I don't have to tell you what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing by the sound of it. Ooh, right? That was on purpose. Everything is on purpose. Nothing in my vlog has been on accident. I've learned every single thing, every single way, the hard way possible. And here it is. Now, to create a sense of giant largeness, right? Like a big, massive task ahead of me. This giant mountain, right? I'm at the bottom of this mountain. I am here at the bottom of this mountain. I need to climb up. I need you, the viewer, the audience, to understand the feeling of me in this large space. Like it feels forever. And this was the best way to describe that, because here you can clearly see this large background and me walking it. The thrift store's right there, barely inside. You can tell I walked it all the way down here, right? The camera angle shifted again, so you know we're going on adventure. I chose this. We are climbing the mountain, right? We are climbing the mountain. I'm not happy about it. As you can see, I'm not having a good time. Then I go into some, details, right? You need words. There are some people out there, there's an audience. What I've learned about an audience is that not everyone understands your vision. Not everyone sees what you see. Not everyone thinks what you think. Not everyone understands what you understand. So sometimes you just got to tell like it is. You got to tell people what you're trying to tell them. And this is what I'm trying to tell them. This is a 42-minute walk right there. As you can, there, 42-minute walk. 42 minutes for me at this bottom point to go up here. 42 minutes. And you can see I put the stairs in the center. So you understand that like this is a nasty climb. It's a 42-minute climb with a chair that I'm rolling down the street. It's on purpose, right? It's on purpose. I'm setting up more of this confrontation up here. Okay. Next.
In hindsight, this was probably a terrible idea. But I'm committed now. Got 40 minutes before I get home. All right.
So we go back into the first person point of view. So remember the way Instagram stories are designed, they're designed for 24 hours. They're designed in mind for them to last for 24 hours and then they disappear. So I make sure that every single story, right, gives you a small PPP. So you can what's going on? What's he doing? Where's he going? And you kind of leads you to the next story, right? I have been doing this for many years now and many, many stories to kind of push the Instagram story button. And okay, how can I turn the next clip into something thrilling, exciting, funny, hilarious, magnificent, or surprise, right? So now I go back to you, giving you more of my personality, letting you know what I'm thinking after showing you I have a 40-minute thing in front of me, right? And this is where the confrontation and conflict starts to get a little silly because now we're still growing the conflict, right? But it doesn't feel as strong. So here I'm going to erase this entire, not erase it. Let me make it. Ooh, there's more. How do I go over there? So this is after many, many years of using this pyramid. I started to do, I changed it. Okay. I changed it just a little bit, right? Now check this out. Sometimes the answer, because I couldn't make the conflict or confrontation the same for the longest time. So sometimes, let me put that word there, conflict, right? I couldn't make it the same sometimes because I didn't know what it was and I kept making excuses like I didn't know what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. I just made excuses. Sometimes the answer to your question is usually in the question. And the answer is usually right in front of you, and it really was. Instead of using a pyramid, I turned it upside down like that. Give me the same idea. So, the best way to kind of think about this is you have heaven and hell. You have earth, heaven, and hell, right? So down here would be the devil, up here would be you, and you go down to the sea, the devil, you go down into hell, and you find it. You find the conflict, you find the demons, you find the devil, you fight down here, right? So you fight down here, and then you rise back up into heaven, right? Which is a climb out, right? It's a climb out of there, which is a feeling of climbing, right? So you're trying to escape, you're trying to get out of hell. And that's what I started to learn, that if there is no conflict, like the same conflict that like, oh, I'm fighting someone, or if there is no confrontation, like I'm not meeting anyone, the journey into hell to fight the demons, to fight the devil, and then climbing out of it, the escape, right? Sounds way more magnificent than to come down here into the resolution solution. Here you climb out of hell and you escape it. And that right there has been helping my storytelling go even further, because in here, I am slowly trying to get out of hell. Watch.
Go up this hill, or go through this tunnel, but there's like no walking space in the what?
So here I clearly show that there's a conflict between climbing up a mountain, one of these, or going through a tunnel. This is a confrontation. Remember, I have to choose. I make a choice. I'm struggling here. I'm trying to climb out of it. I'm fighting the devil right now. So I end the shot facing the mountain, but then I start the next shot in the tunnel. I make the shot long on purpose, almost like 60 seconds long, giving you an idea that there's no safety, right? That there's no safety, there's no walkway. I'm in the center, right? It's dark, there's only a few lights. I'm pushing this by the top. I'm like holding, it's rattling, the floor is dirty. It's just a grimy situation. It is not a fun time. Clearly, I'm not laughing. We're not having a good time. This next shot shows danger, right? It's showing suspense and danger. Fools are driving so fast. Watch. This first person slowed down a little bit, but people were speeding up. It was crazy. Slow down. Thank you very much for your kindness. Right? And then I shifted the camera. I know, right? They were still pretty close. Then I shifted the camera on purpose. After I saw that person move, it gave me an opportunity to see the gap between me and the car. So as soon as I saw the gap between me and the car, I knew I could move the camera a little closer to gain more perspective and suspense. So it's closer to the danger, and you can feel how terrifying it was, me pushing this chair here. That's super close. You saw that, right? That was crazy close. Now, of course, you need a little bit of comic relief, some jokes. And what better, right? This guy, you stop by the convenience store, I pick up a drink, a small snack, right? So I know for sure, and I'm sitting in the chair, right? So like, now the suspense is building up, right? You're like, oh man, is Spencer gonna do it? Can he make it? Can he survive? Right? Like it has this like build up, this massive build up where you're like, whoa, like what is this tunnel? These guys are going crazy. Like this dude, what is going on? And then next shot, I'm just chilling, taking a break. Like, man, what am I doing in my life? What am I doing? Right? That is like your, you slayed the dragon, the demon. You fought the biggest conflict. This is the come down here, or for me, this is the climb up. I was right next to my house, so I knew exactly where to. I was like, I live like, I don't live too far from it, another 5 minutes or something, and I was like, like this is gonna be hilarious. Like I knew on purpose, right? I wanted a better camera angle, but I needed to capture 3 things. I needed to capture this light sign here, which is a very popular color of a convenience store called the Family Mart. I needed to capture the door, right? I waited until somebody was walking in and walking out, right? And then I'm sitting on the chair. I needed to make sure those three were visually seen, and this was the only camera angle that had all three showing, right? I know it's ominous, but I did have this leading line, and I had half of the space here open and half of the space here covered as well. So it's still 50-50 when it comes to like the camera angles, right? This is pretty nice. I like it. Not like that, right? This leading line here, it's pretty nice, right? So you can see that this is cut in half. I'm sitting here on the lower half with the camera on the lower half, which I think I should have been on the top half, but I needed to capture the door opening and closing. I needed to show these powerful lights. I needed to show me drinking, because that's a very natural like idea. Like, you can't tell what I'm eating, but you can know, you do know what I am eating. You don't know what it is, but you know I am, right? But a drink was very clear, and I needed to make that shot so clear that I'm at some store. There's someone coming out of it. Like, everything's on purpose. This was not an accident. I'll do it again. The drink, the door open, right? As a human, everyone feels this, right? I get my snack. I make sure that it's in my palm so the steam is revealed, right? That this is a hot meal on a cold day. Watch this. You see the steam? It's perfect. I got a little bit of cheese. See all the steam? I keep all these garments on to make sure that you know that it's cold. It's freezing. Then the next shot, I start to wrap it up. I get to the bottom of the solution. I get to the top of this climb with one more POV.
10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, and I'm almost there. I can see it now. Almost home.
Now I have a little bit of joy. I have a little bit of comfort. You see the hero rejoicing, right? The finish line is near. The finish line is right there. I'm having a good time. The suspense is already over. We're on the come down. I purposely slipped it, and here we go. We switched to third person point of view. Now, if you notice, I didn't need any words there, and then the chair is right here. So that was a nice finish of me getting to the bottom of the mountain. Right? I don't have to tell you I got home. I don't have to tell you that I got home, right? Actually, speak louder in words here. I don't have to tell you I got home. You know I rolled this in the crazy place. You know it was a 40-minute roll. I should give you the thumbs up. You boys having a good time. We made it. We made it to the bottom of the hill. We made it out of hell. We're back. We're back, baby. So yes, guys, this was perfect, I guess, my masterclass in short storytelling, in my new storytelling technique. I think I'm going to change my title. I don't like that title. I'm going to call this my IG class short story masterclass techniques. Okay. If you have any questions on how to do these storytellings, let me know. I am a teacher. If you have any idea of where you're struggling in these storytelling techniques, let me know. I am a fan of storytelling. Is all I do all the time, every day. So thank you for watching along. And if you have any questions, I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Thank you very much. And again, see you tomorrow. Peace.